Hi everyone, my name is Kayla. Welcome back to Kay's Hidden Shelf, where we talk about books. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my spoiler-free review for my most anticipated book this year, and that is Bonds of Chaos by Zack Argyle. Now, I did receive this copy in exchange for an honest review, and Bonds of Chaos is the conclusion of the Threadlight trilogy. Now, as this is a conclusion to a trilogy, just be mindful that there may be spoilers discussed for the previous books in the series. If you want to learn more about the Threadlight trilogy, I have reviews for the Voice of War and Stones of Light. I'll leave links where you can find those up in the cards if you'd like to take a look at those first and determine if this trilogy is something you'd like to read. Now, after finishing Stones of Light, I wondered how Zack was going to stick the landing on this trilogy. Was it going to be as epic as Stones of Light was? Because Stones of Light just dialed up in writing and storytelling the level of skill that changed from Voice of War, which was book 1, to Stones of Light being book 2, was astounding. But the big question was, could Zack do it again with the conclusion of the trilogy? And the answer was a resounding yes, yes, yes. Not only did he nail it, he did it expertly, and I'm going to tell you why. First, let's start with some details. Bonds of Chaos is book 3 and the conclusion of the Threadlight trilogy that is a self-published fantasy series by Zack Argyle, and what an ending. Since I received an ARC or an advanced reading copy, I unfortunately don't have the final page count, but this was somewhere between 300 and 400 pages. There was great action scenes in this, thought-provoking scenes, high stakes, and much more. Zack continues to impress me with how much he can accomplish in a short page count. Right off the bat, something I always appreciate is that Bonds of Chaos starts with a chapter called The Story So Far. This gives readers a brief overview of the important events from Voice of War and Stones of Light, so you can jump right into this conclusion without having to go back and reread those two books before doing so. After that, we pick up shortly after the events of Stones of Light with a heart-stopping opening chapter. And then we jump right back into our main cast of characters. In just a short time, the characters' personalities, their relationships, and their struggles are explored in more depth. Zack also builds the relationships, tests the characters' resolves, and creates a family all mixed within a fast-paced story. While I enjoyed the characters throughout the first two books, they truly shine here as their character arcs come to an end. Not only that, but Bonds of Chaos and the first two books in the series have the best representation of parenthood from various angles and ages that I have ever read. There is just so much with parenthood that it's more than just taking care of a child. Being a parent impacts your relationship with other people. It impacts your own internal struggles, and all of it I feel like was represented really well with a lot of thought and care put into it. There's also a great balance of strong female and male characters from a variety of age groups in this, and I love that it gave that balance, showing that it doesn't have to be a strong female only or a strong male or a young person setting out on an adventure and accomplishing everything on their own. It can be a group of diverse people all working together, and I truly appreciated that as well. The world building and magic system continue to be explored in this, and to say that there are impactful moments would be an understatement. We also get an exploration of sacrifice, self-discovery, found family, and impossible odds. Bonds of Chaos left me speechless, full of emotions, and sad that it was over. This is definitely going to leave me in a book hangover, unfortunately, but I loved every moment of this series. The thought and care, the detail, and how much was accomplished in so few pages is astounding to me. This is a satisfying conclusion to the Threadlight trilogy, and this series and Zack Argyle as an author are certainly one of my favorites. If you've been looking for a self-published fantasy series to try out, I highly recommend the Threadlight trilogy. It is so good and I cannot recommend it enough. Of course, I ended up giving this 5 out of 5 stars. It was worth the wait, and thank you to Zack Argyle for writing one of my favorite series and doing it so well. I'd love to know, have you read the Threadlight trilogy? Does it sound interesting to you? Do you think you'll read it if you haven't? I'd love to hear from you. Leave your comments down below. As always, thank you for watching and take care of yourselves.